As I begin this recording, a friendly reminder to keep your audio and video disabled. Nothing you put in the chat will appear in the recording. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and bring up Josie's presentation, and we'll begin.
All right. Well, hello guys. Welcome. Good afternoon. My name is Josie. I am from Animal Care Services. I also have Caitlin with me. Also, we are part of the education team here at ACS. And today we kind of want to just briefly talk to you guys about how pets help enhance our lives, not only health-wise, but many other ways that we'll kind of touch on base, especially I know a lot of us in the last 2.5 years or so, we kind of been going back and forth, either working from home or maybe, you know, our life situation styles have kind of changed a little bit. Maybe now we have more pets than we maybe had 2 years ago, or maybe we've, you know, things have kind of changed, and we just kind of want to touch base on everybody about how wonderful it is to have a pet. You might hear a meow here and there throughout the presentation. We do have a little foster kitten that may join the meeting in a bit to just say hello. So if you see something jump in front, don't mind the little kitten. We can go ahead and switch slides. So again, like I said, we'll just briefly talk about what Animal Care Services is, what we do. Then we're going to focus on the benefits of life with pets, and then talk about a little bit about how us being owners to pets and how we help their lives improve as well. And then a little bit things about those returning back from COVID and how to kind of coexist and make sure that we're prepping our pets to be successful at home while we're away at work. And then just a few programs that you can also participate and help out our shelter, especially for those who don't have pets and maybe just want to be able to take advantage of that animal-human bond. Then you can switch slides. So Animal Care Services is a city's municipal shelter. We are an open admissions, meaning that we will take in pets. It doesn't matter if we are due to overspace, we have to make room for them. And these are just some numbers of how it looked for the past year. They're kind of a little bit below average on some of the numbers because, again, with COVID, things have kind of changed a little bit, but we still try to focus on as many pets that are coming into our shelter that we are getting them out into safe and happy homes, whether that be through adoption, through rescue, through foster. We're going to try to make sure that those pets find that place. Our live release rate, that 91.2%, means that on an average, for every 10 pets that come in, 9 of those pets will find placement. So they can either get adopted, they can either be in a temporary home with foster, or they can go with our rescue partners, and then our rescue partners adopt them out. So even here in San Antonio, we have rescue partners like Animal Defense League, Humane Society, and San Antonio Pets Alive. When you are adopting from them, that then gives opportunity for them to come into our shelter and pull more pets and adopt them through them. So as long as you are adopting from a shelter, then more likely you are helping one of our pets here at the shelter. So that's always a big thing. As part of the city, with city taxes, we do fund services like spay and neuter surgeries. So we do partner with low-cost clinics. And so last year we did about 33,000, which is a really good number. We usually do a little bit more than that. But again, with COVID, there's some shortfalls with veterinarians available. Those numbers are a little bit below average, but we hope within the next year or so that those get back to around 44,000, which we usually do. And then we try very, very hard for pets that are roaming free, that we return them home to pets. It's important that they are microchipped. And so they are more likely to be returned home. They actually don't even have to come into our shelter. They can be, if our animal care offices are out in the field, they can return those pets back to their owners. So the important thing is making sure that that microchip is registered and up to date. You can change the slide. So going into the benefits of having benefits of your life with a pet, there's this really neat thing that is called the pet effect, which is also known as the human-animal bond. And this is showing that beneficial relationship between people and animals and how it can impact not only our health and well-being, but also the health and well-being of the pet too. And there's a lot of things that can go into not only just general basic health benefits, but even physical and social benefits. And we'll kind of touch on those things and how our lifestyles are affected by having pets in our lives and how it can help improve our lives also. See, next slide. So first one is health benefits. There's a few research out there that completely show many reasons why. There's a lot of studies that have the connection of why not only our mental health, but our heart health really do benefit by having pets in our lives. A real big one is our hormones. We have what's called a dopamine and endorphins that will increase or the good feelings that will increase when having a pet. So this helps us stay a little bit more calm. For those that maybe are suffering through anxiety or depression, having a pet around does increase those good feeling hormones, and then it helps you relax and stay calm. And it's just a good way to kind of bounce off some of that anxiety and kind of even just the sitting next to a pet and petting them. These are very good ways to be able to have a pet around, and they have that sixth sense instinct to kind of read a little bit of how you're feeling, and they kind of, just even looking at them just really triggers inside your body to kind of change those senses. Heart health, again, if you are having those good hormones that are increasing, then it's going to help alleviate the pressure, the low blood pressure, lower your blood pressure. It kind of just does a lot of things inside your body that helps lower some of those, what we would call cholesterol levels, which also has to do with your heart. So a lot of times people that maybe have heart issues or have gone through a heart attack, there have been studies to show that when they are around pets or that they have pets, this helps them as well too. And so there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of studies that show there are some hospitals, even here in San Antonio, that will have a service pet go into the hospital and go into those areas where maybe there's long-term patients, there's kids with cancer, and they take those pets. And it doesn't have to be a dog or cat, it could be something as like a rabbit or something cute and furry and cuddly, just the animals that are just going to increase those good feeling hormones, the oxytocin that's in your body. You can change slide. And then again, kind of still talking about your health and then now the physical benefits. Like I had mentioned, just even the touch, the sensation of having a pet next to you. Earlier, when we were kind of prepping for this presentation, the kitten was on my desk and he started purring. Even that purring, that sensation, if a pet is near us and they're doing something like that, like a purring, that again will have a rapid effect inside our bodies, and we then, kind of go in sync, and that helps again build those nice good feeling hormones, and that will help reduce the stress that's in us and the anxiousness around us. Having a pet also too, especially like dogs, will help us and motivate us to get that exercise, because it is important that they get their daily exercise and play. So obviously if they're doing that too and we're out there with them, we're spending some time playing with them, that's getting us moving. Even with the kitten, getting down on the floor with them, running the ribbons, that's kind of just helping us circulate some of that blood flow in us, and helping us get a little bit more active on a daily. And just going based on a couple of examples of studies, there's one in Chicago that, walking a pet that maybe is overweight, or you yourself are trying to shed some pounds, even if it's a quick 30-minute walk a day, this will help. And these are things, again, it's just that other motivation to be able to get you out there. Not only is it thinking for you, but also thinking for your pet, to make sure that, you're being able to kind of get their energy out as well. So that way they have a nice relaxing day in the evening. So that motivation to get both of you out there in the outdoors will help as well. Next slide. And of course, with the physical benefits, there's also the social benefits. So when you're
It looks like we're experiencing a slight technical difficulty. Caitlin, would you mind taking over this slide until Josie can rejoin us, please?
Yes, sure, certainly. So the social benefits, I'll just start over on the slide. So socialization helps, especially when you have a social pet, like dogs. It helps you get out to go meet new people. If you go to places like dog parks or even pet stores, you can meet people with similar interests or similar things. So obviously, if I'm walking around and I see somebody who has a dog that looks similar to mine, I'm more likely to start a conversation with them. So you can meet new people. Companionship. So obviously having a pet, they are considered companions, so that just provides a companionship with you and your pet. And similarly, again, meet people that have similar tastes and similar interests, and make new friends. Social routine, so it adds structure to your day, especially if you have a pet that needs to be walked, or needs to have a certain amount of physical and mental exercise. This just helps you have a routine and gets you out and about, out of bed, out of the house. And it also helps your pet stay calm and balanced, and kind of gives them a sense of routine, which just makes them overall a more balanced pet. Josie, you back in?
I think so.
Did you have anything else to add?
No, you did good.
Okay.
Am I on? Okay, sweet. Sorry about that. Then finally, those were all touching bases on how pets help benefit our health. But also, like I mentioned, it's a mutual bond between humans and animals. So there's also benefits with us having pets also helps them as well too. So kind of the same effects that it helps with us, when it comes to our mental health, it would be the same thing with them and their exercise and mental stimulation. So by getting them out, spending time with them, being able to have those interactions with them, will help them also kind of not have that anxiety, or they can also feel depression as well. And that mental stimulation is very, very important, especially if you have a type of dog or a cat that maybe needs a little bit more attention than one that's maybe just, is okay with just napping all day. And so all of those things kind of help, especially with those bad behaviors. If they are a little over destructive, or maybe they, tend to want to just run and knock everything down. All of those things, just working with them, being able to spend time with them, train them, all of that time that you're spending with them is that building that bond within one another. Then when we have that physical touch with them, when we're sitting there next to them and we're maybe doing a quick brush, or we're doing a nice massage, or just, working with their bodies, or their getting them used to being handled and stuff like that, all of that connection and body awareness helps again, help alleviate the anxiousness that they might have. It helps them be a little bit more aware of their surroundings and get a little bit confident. Usually we always say, especially with like kittens and puppies, that we work with, touching their hands and touching the bottoms of their paws, or touching by their ears. So that way they're used to those types of touch, and they know that, during, mom and pet time, these are good moments. So that's why they get used to that, and they build that confidence. So when they do go to the vet, or when they do have to get that monthly grooming, they're able to stay calm and work with that. And then also, pets, just like us, they have their likes and dislikes on things that they do. They have certain activities that they really enjoy, and there's some things that can make them really, really happy, simple as maybe just throwing a ball around, or even just sitting down next to them and watching a movie on or reading a book, and you're sitting there with your pet and you're giving them a nice little rub on the back of the ears. All of those things are things that can help with the way that they enjoy their living also too. And then obviously the same way that it's important to maintain our health, if we're taking our dogs out to walk to help us, shed some pounds. Same thing with our pets, being able to make sure that we're doing all the preventative care, taking them to their annual checkups and all of that kind of stuff is going to keep them not only healthy and happy, but it's going to reduce those financial risks in case if something does, some illness that does kind of pop up out of nowhere. if we were, on the preventatives, then hopefully that will minimize the financial burden of an extreme, medical care that they might have. And so those are all kind of the basic touches of it's important that we have pets to help for our health benefits, but also we do the same thing for our pets too. Next slide. And then, so now touching on, again, like I mentioned, with the pandemic, us returning back to work, if some of us already, we're working from home, we're kind of switching in, we have some of those hybrid schedules where maybe we're not as much as home as we used to, or maybe we've completely switched over back into the workforce. It's really important that, since obviously not many places are going to allow pets to go to work with them, that we are still either fitting in a routine with them or being able to have something that they are able to do within the day that while we're away. It doesn't show that some pets get really, really attached, just like small children. And so we want to kind of avoid that separation anxiety and some of those destructive behaviors that might happen if we're not keeping them into a routine, either be while they're there at home or when we get home, that we're doing certain things with our pets to make sure that we're mentally stimulating them. And definitely any type of movement, exercise, getting them to, the daily walks in the morning or if you're able to go home in the afternoon or taking a break with it between your working from home hours, all of those kind of things will help benefit both of us and our pets also. And then any of that enrichment stuff. So anything to kind of something new, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be something that you go get store-bought. You don't have to go and spoil your pets with new toys, but if you want to, that's fine as well. But even something as simple as, refurbishing some of the items that you already have, or if there's other items at home, toilet paper rolls are always, you can, use your imagination. Any old garments, t-shirts, you can rip those up into strips and turn them into, little braided rope ties and stuff like that. All of those items are nifty things and new things that kind of help stimulate your pets. Smells is always a really good thing to kind of throw in the loop every now and then to kind of just switch a little bit on that routine that you might have for your pet. And that way they can kind of, again, it builds on that mental stimulation for them. Next slide. And then, a lot of this is really heavy on if you have pets at home. But if you don't have pets, that's still fine. There are still a lot of ways that you can have that human animal interaction. And that's kind of where our shelter steps in. There's still that opportunity for you to kind of come in here and get those good feeling hormones in there. Whether it be just to come in and just do a quick walkthrough with our shelter. If you're looking to add an addition to your family, we do adoptions here at our shelter or any of our local shelters. There are a few programs that you don't necessarily have to commit to a pet, but you can still help out. We always are in need of basic pet donations. We also have a program called Pay It Forward, where you can do a donation drive either with your company, your organization, in your neighborhood, in your kids' school or church, and collect pet items. A lot of common items that we always need is for sure newspaper, towels, blankets, any pet toys. They can be new, used items. They don't have to be like store-bought if you have something that's in your house. But newspaper is definitely something that we're always in need of. And those items can always be dropped off at the shelter. We're open 7 days a week. So during our hours, those items can be dropped off. Volunteering is another way to, again, be able to come into our shelter. Not only is it beneficial to gain those volunteer hours if you need them for work or your kids from school, but it's also a good way to come in here to get the experience, share your skills if there's something that you are really good at, like photography, or you really know how to socialize with cats and you want to spend some time in our cat room. Any of those types of little skills that you might have, you're welcome to come in and volunteer and help us out that way. And then if you kind of want your puppy or dog fix temporarily, but are not willing to do the full commitment in adopting, another good way to help us out is our foster program. This is a temporarily opening your home and giving a pet the not only the safe place, but time to be able to if they're too young or if they have some medical issues or some behavioral things that they need to work on, we will provide those supplies for you. Once they are in that good area to be available for adoption, then we can make those arrangements to bring that pet back in. But fosters are always a must right now. That's a really big for our puppies and kitten season is kicking in. And so we have a lot of puppies and kittens that are coming in. They are not able to be adopted out till they're about 2 pounds or 2 months old, or 2 pounds. So they need a little bit more time to be able to grow. And so that fostering them and like holding onto them for that short period of time will allow them to not only grow, but to kind of build on those social skills. Like I said, it's a temporary thing. So you can get, your couple of weeks to a month of a little bit of, I just feel like I really want to be around a puppy, but I don't want to have that long-term commitment of actually taking care of them into their teenage and adult years. Fostering is that good program to go ahead and help us with. Next slide. Another even more temporary program that we have is our Shelter Paws. This is one of those nice sunny day moments on the weekend when you have, your kids, or you want to do, a nice little date afternoon, and you want to be able to spend some time with the pet. A lot of our medium to larger size pups kind of get a little bit anxious in Saturday shelters, and so be able to take them out for a couple of hours, go on a walk, or even if it's just taking them to your house to get a nice little bath. That way they can kind of decompress from being in the kennels is another good way to be able to help out. This is, a few hours of you interacting with a pet, getting to know them, help understand their personality. So that way you can do a little pup report card, and this helps out as well. And getting our pets adopted or potentially fostered. But this is another opportunity to be able to do a quick little engagement activity with our pets, and you get to spend a couple of hours with the pet and kind of build on those good feelings that we were talking about earlier. Next slide. And that is pretty much wrapped up of everything that we had to share with you guys about the health and benefits of having a pet. We are open to answer any questions, or if you have any comments or anything else that we need to clear or anything, we're open to answer those for you.
I did just have a question, Josie.
Yes.
On your last slide, the Shelter Paws.
Yes.
Is there a time in the day that a person would need to arrive? Is there like a cutoff point?
Yes. So when you log on, there is kind of like a calendar schedule of the availabilities. I believe it's from, double checking the times for Shelter Paws, from 1 to 3, 4. It's weird. Yeah. When you go on the link, it'll have it on there, but it's, I believe, like a 4-hour window in like early or late afternoon, early morning, late afternoon time frame that occurs. So that way, when you sign up, the pets are already pre-selected. So it isn't that you can come in here and kind of get whichever pet that you want for Shelter Paws. There's a few of them that they already have in mind and that would benefit from the program. So when you go on there, there's the availability of when those time slots are.
Okay, got it. So
Real quick, I have to answer that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's Monday through Saturday, pickups between 10:15 and 11 a.m. and they have to be back by 2 p.m. This just gives them the opportunity to still be available during the day when potential adopters are here to look at them, so they're not away from the kennels while they could potentially be getting adopted.
That makes sense. Okay, so someone would need to get there between 10:15 and 11 a.m. and then return the animal by 2 p.m.
Yes, but you would sign up, and the our rescue foster team would let you know which day to come and when to pick up, because there's a limited number of slots.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Thank you. And thank you, Josie.
I don't see any other questions in the chat box. I'm going to go ahead and stop our recording.